Hello everybody, I'm your host Shruti and welcome to the first episode of Sipping Tea with Science. Now during the pandemic, at one point or another, we have all craved to go outside. Though we can't meet with friends, just taking a nice peaceful walk in the golden rays of sunshine under the big blue sky is all we need. When we look up to the sky, we're greeted with a gorgeous shade of blue. But have you ever looked down at the ground and wondered, why don't I see much of blue down here? Is blue just a stuck-up color that's quote-unquote too good for others to be seen together with? Or is there just some interesting science behind this mysterious color? Let's find out together. As we all may or may not know, the sky is blue due to the fact that when sunlight is scattered in all directions, blue is scattered the most as it travels in shorter, smaller waves. But when it comes to the color of things in nature, things work a little bit differently. Less than 1 in 10 plants have blue flowers and far fewer animals are blue. Part of the reason is that there isn't really a true blue color or pigment in nature, and both plants and animals have to perform tricks of the light to appear blue. Plants achieve their blue color by mixing naturally occurring pigments, sort of like artists, to get the color they need. They most commonly use the red pigments called anthocyanins, whose appearance can be changed by varying acidity. The altered red pigments, combined with reflected light, can create some spectacular shades of blue. The handful of blue flowers in nature include delphiniums, plumbagos, bluebells, hydrangeas, dayflowers, morning glories, and cornflowers. Now that you understand why blue flowers are so rare, have you wondered why there are nearly no blue leaves? There are very few plants found on the floor of tropical rainforest with blue leaves, but the main reason for their blue leaves has to do with the physics of light. Pigments appear the color of the light they don't absorb, but instead reflect. In other words, the color we see comes from the light being reflected. We all know that plants have green chlorophyll and that it's the most common pigment in plants. They also appear green because they don't absorb, but rather reflect the green light we see. Blue light has more energy than any other light, so plants tend to absorb them to use for energy. So if plants have blue leaves, they would be reflecting the highest energy light, leaving it with only poorer quality light that ultimately limits its growth. Thus, most plants avoid having blue leaves as it's just a waste of energy. While I love the color blue and have no trouble covering my surroundings and myself with blue, animals have a much harder time turning blue. Many pigments in animals come from the food they eat. For example, flamingos are their beautiful pink self because of the dye they get from their favorite food, shrimp. Since we know that there isn't a true blue pigment in plants, animals can't turn blue through food. So how do animals turn themselves blue? Well, instead of altering pigments like plants, many animals achieve the color blue by making structures that change the wavelength of light. For example, the blue morpho butterfly gets its color from its wings. Its wing scales are shaped in ridges that causes light to bend in such a way that the only wavelength of light it reflects is blue. If the scales were shaped differently, blue color wouldn't be there. Fun fact, the Obrina olive wing butterfly is the only known animal to produce a true blue pigment. Talk about being special. Back to blue animals though. Bluebirds, like let's say the blue jay, get their color through a similar but slightly different process. Each feather is made up of light-scattering microscopic beads spaced in a way that every wavelength of light is cancelled out except blue. So if plants and animals have to work this hard to get to be blue, why do they even bother? All this light absorbing and pigment mixing and scale arranging, all for what? Just to be blue? Well, we all like to be different, don't we? And for plants, being different can help attract a unique pollinator. Recent studies have shown that bees too prefer certain colors, probably influenced by the diverse range of flower colors we can see today, including blue. For animals, a standout blue color in anything from butterflies to frogs to parrots is useful for getting attention. Now that could be good or bad attention. Good intention in the sense it could help animals attract a mate, or bad in the sense it could warn off predators. Who knew the color blue would be useful and mysterious in so many ways? Either way, the color blue remains an all-time favorite, not just because it's pretty, but also as it is rare to find in nature. And when we do find it, boy is it stunning. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed one of the wonders of science. Stay safe and stay curious.